Okay, so we'll see the results of yesterday's first. Okay, so you can just simply go inside this, and here you see yesterday we have just simply inject the first name and the text, so that's why it is coming like this. Okay, and today I have added one property, that is last name. So here I have added one field, that is last name. So here you see inside our hello world component we have added one inside the CQ dialog we have added one field, that is last name, and here I have given the variable. Here I have created the variable, that is L name. Okay, and after that here we have a field label, that is last name. Okay, and this is the text field. So here you see this one is our text field now. Okay, and every time keep in mind, whenever we define the variable name we have to use the dot and the slash. This is the rule of defining the variable in our AEM. Okay, so now I'm just simply coming here in our backend and I'm just adding some code. Okay, so if I want to inject the last name, how I can do that things? Like we have injected the first name and the text, but what's about the last name? So for that we can just simply use the @inject. Okay, @inject, and you can just simply use public string, and here we have to use the last name. Okay, so here you see where we have a last name, this one. What is the variable name of this last name field? So it has a L name. So you can just simply come here and you can just simply type L name. Okay, this is the thing we have to type it. Okay, so how this field are injecting? Here you see inside this crxd, here we have one field, that is L name. How this field is directly injecting in our this variable? It's all because of this @inject. So this is the Sling framework. This is the part of this, all the annotation is a part of the Sling framework. We don't need to be write all the code. Okay, they will automatically inject inside your Java properties. So this is the role of this @inject. Here you see, so by using this @inject we can inject the node properties into the Java properties. Node properties, that means your crxd property. This one is your last name is your node, and inside this here we have this property. So this property is directly injecting inside your Java property, and your Java property is nothing but this variable. Okay, and what is doing all the steps? This @inject. Okay, so we got it. But what it will happen when you use @inject? So it will first of all go inside the script variable, and later it will go inside the properties variable. Now I'll show you. Here you see, here what we have. Okay, so here see, this one is our properties. Okay, and they have created one object for this property. Then you can just directly access this field label, name, and the Sling resource type. So these are nothing but your properties. Okay, consider this one, these four are nothing but your property, and this property you want to access it. So for that they have already created the object. Okay, but this @inject first of all create the object of the script variable. Later it will create the object of the value map value. Here you see, here we have a concept, that is injection strategy. So when you use the @inject annotation, that time first of all it will create the object of this script variable, and later it will create the object of this properties, that is value map value. But now we know that this first name and this last name is a value map value. What is this? This one is our property, and for that they have already created a direct object. So you can just simply use it, that is value map value. Okay, this is the thing, value map value we have uses. Okay, so this is the value map value we have uses. Now what it is saying, we are directly injecting these properties. Like which properties we are directly injecting? We have to go inside the content. Here we have a demo1, us, and en, content, root, container, everything we have here. Here we have our hello world component. This is L name, text, and somewhere we have a first name as well. So this is the property. This all the property it is storing in our components. Yeah. So your Sling directly come inside this hello world. So how it will come? Because of this @inject. So here we have a adaptable, and you have injected, here you have adaptable resource.class. Here what you have done is, that is resource.class. Okay, so because of that it will come directly inside this, and here you see, here we have a properties, so this property will inject directly. Okay, yeah, so for that we have to simply use the value map value. So here we have uses the name. Now you can just simply create the methods for this name. So here I am creating public, this is the string only, and here get last name. Okay, and you can just simply use the return name. Okay, and another thing is, don't try it like this. See, so here I have used the value map value, and after that I'm just using the public string name, and after that suddenly I'm just trying like public string and first name as well. So the simple, it will only inject this name. Okay, this value map value have only one permission. Every annotation have only one access. That means it can access only one variable. So if you are going in the second, it won't possible. So you can just simply remove this, and that is fine now. Okay, so this is the thing, and after that here we have a lot of annotations. So we have already seen the @inject, and here we have a name annotation. What does it mean by the name annotation? So in simply, like, consider in some cases we cannot create the object. Okay, we cannot create the variable in our Java. Like, see, one necessary thing is, here, like here we have a first name, so here also we need the first name only. So if here we have a first name and you are trying to inject this variable inside this first name, but it is a different one, like here we have first name, so it won't possible. So for that you can just simply use the name annotations. So by using the name annotation, you can just define a different variable and you can associate it with each. Like, consider now here we have a, okay, so consider here we have a something that is JCR last modified, otherwise JCR created by. Okay, so but if I just try to create this variable or something inside this, like public string, and just paste it, so it won't possible. Why? In our Java we cannot define the variable by using the column. We cannot define our variable by using the column. So for that we have to simply use name annotation. Okay, so for that we have to simply use the name annotation. So how we can use it? So you can just simply come here. Here we have a name, and first of all we have to import it. Once you have imported, you have to define inside this, just double quote JCR, what we have, that is JCR created by. You can just simply copy, come here and just simply paste it. Okay, now you can just define like JCR created by. That is done now. Okay, but the thing is, here you see, here we have a lot of annotation. Some annotations are applicable only for this resource.class, and some applications are adaptable to Sling HTTP servlet request. That means see, here if you have some work, like consider, where is my pin? Yeah, so if you just want to create the entire project. Okay, so when you want to create the entire project, you are the only person who will not create the entire project. So what you will do, you will isolate. Okay, you will divide that project into a sub modules, and you will assign that sub module to someone who will work on this project. The same thing, okay, in our Sling model, here we have a lot of classes, and here we have a lot of annotations. Okay, so this annotation we haven't added inside only the one adaptable. So we have created lot of adaptables and we have assigned it. Okay, this is the thing. Now I'll show you. Like, come here, localhost 4502 system console bundle, 4502 system console bundle. Here we have a sling adapters. Click there, and once you will click, so here you see this is nothing but our adaptables. That means left hand side is nothing but our adaptable. So here we can simply write this all the adaptables. You can write one or you can write more than one, it's up to your need. Okay, it's up to you, it's according to your need. You can just write whatever you want. But when we can write, when we just want to use this right things, like you are just creating one project and in that you need this device. Okay, you need this device packages. Okay, this is the package we needed. So for that we can just simply adapt this component, so we can simply use these devices. Okay, like the same thing, mostly we can use only these two things, that is Sling HTTP servlet request and the resource. Here you see, and here we have a resource. Now in this case what we have uses the resource. Okay, why? Because of it's mostly used. Like here this one is entire CRXD, the entire this left hand side, whatever you are seeing, these things are nothing but your resources. And for these resources they have created the packages and out of the box classes and the interface, that is nothing but the API. So they have already created, and you want to access it, you can easily access. So for that you just have to use this resource.class. Okay, after that here we have a lot of these things. It's not okay, you cannot only define this resource and Sling HTTP servlet request. If you want, it's according to your need, you can just define anything. So here we have a resource resolver as well. Okay, so here how we can define, if you want to define more things, then you can just simply define the array. Okay, here we have to define Sling HTTP. Okay, here Sling HTTP servlet request dot class, that's done. Okay, so this, in this way we can just define, but right now I'm just simply removing this resource dot class, so that is also okay. Okay, so here we have some annotations. Yeah, this is the thing we have done it. Now this JCI created by, for that you can just simply create one method for returning public string, and what is the name of our method, that is JCI created by. Okay, so get JCI created by. Okay, and simply return the that is JCI created something. This is the variable we have now. You can just simply copy, come here and just simply paste it. Okay, we have done it. Okay, this is the thing we have done. Now that is done, but the consider now user haven't entered anything inside this L name, or user haven't entered in this text and the F name. Okay, then in this case what it will throw, it will throws the null pointer exception. What it will throw, it will throws the null pointer exception. So in that case this is not a good for our development, no. So for that we have to manage something. So they have already created some of the annotation, we have to simply use it. Okay, so here see this text, now this is the optional. Why? Because of here I have used this optional annotation. This is the annotation that I have used. That means this field is now optional. By default it's a required. So when you haven't written anything inside this text, so it will throw the null pointer exception. So that's why I have make this field as a optional. Now if you are not entering, that is also okay, it won't throw the null pointer exception. The same thing with this. But when you are coming, and if in this name, if the user hasn't entered anything, otherwise in this value map value user hasn't entered anything in this L name, then it will throws the null pointer exception. So for that you can just simply make it as a optional. Otherwise if you want all the field as a optional, then you can just simply define as a class level. So what we have to define, that is default injection strategy. And here, yeah, and we have to tell, like I just want to optional, I just want to be optional all the field. If you want required, then you can just simply remove this optional, and instead of this optional you can just simply define the required. Here you see, here we have a required as well. Okay, Yeah, this is the thing. And yeah, and if you are making all the fields as a optional, okay, so you have make it no all the fields as a optional. Now if you want any field like it's a required, then you can just simply use the @required annotation. So here you can just simply use @required annotation. We have to import it. Yeah, we have imported successfully. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, after that, but the thing is, by default now we have solved all the issues. Okay, because of we have make it as a optional. Okay, and now our all the field is optional except this JCI created by. Okay, this field is not optional. Why? Because of here we have used the annotation that is required. But consider, by default you don't want to store the by default you don't want to store, okay, sorry, you don't want to store the null value, you want to store something. Then for that you can just simply use the @default. Okay, so for that you can just simply use the @default. Exactly. So here you can just simply use the parenthesis open and the close. Okay, and here we have a lot of attributes, you can use that. Okay, so inside the boolean, if you want to pass the boolean value, then you can just simply use this, that is boolean values, and it accepts the parameter as a array. Here we have a double values, here we have a float value, integer value, long value, short value, and this value. So values is nothing but the string. So by default it will accept the string. So when I'm using these values, that means we are accepting the string, and which value we are passing, like you can pass anything. So this is text, this is the thing that I have uses. And after that here you can just simply use the default. Again here also we just want to pass some another thing, so here you can just define the values. Okay, so see, if it is an integer, like consider the JCI created by is an integer, then you can just simply pass the integer values by default. Okay, but in this case this one is a string, so we have to pass the string only. Okay, the first name, so search software. Yeah, and inside this last name we can just simply pass the default solution. Okay, so this is the value we have passes. Yeah, we have to use the values here now. Okay, so now we have solved our errors. Okay, and another thing is, like here we have a lot of page related variables, or you can say it's a object, page related object we have. Okay, so if you want to inject this page related objects, so for that we have a @script variable. We have one annotation that is @script variable. You can just simply use it. So now in this case I want page. I already told you this script variable annotations is useful for injecting the objects, like page related object. It's not only the page related object, script, that means the front end related things. Okay, so for that you can just simply use this script variable. Okay, so here in this case now I'm just using a current page. Simply import this page. So this page, this is the package for this page annotation, sorry, this page interface. Okay, so now we got this current page. Now from this current page we can simply get the name, okay, of the current page. So how we can get it? So you can just simply define the name first. I have simply written it. Now page dot get current page is no current page dot get name, something is there. So you can just easily get the name of the current page. Okay, we have defined it. And another thing is there, that is Sling object. Okay, Sling we have another object, another annotation, that is Sling object. So why we use this Sling object? So here in this case Sling have their own object, that means Sling have created the classes and the interface that is related to a Sling only. Okay, so that is a request response we have, and we have a resource resolver, that is current resource, Sling script helper. These are nothing but the uh, by default object. That means you can say these are related to a Sling only. So if you want to inject this object, you can just simply use @Sling object. Simple. So right now in this case I just want to use this resource resolver. I'll explain this resource resolver. This is the main and most useful interface in our AEM, so we will discuss this in future. Okay, so here in this case I have defined the resolver. Now you can use this resolver anywhere. If you want to define this resolver inside your Sling model, okay, then by using this @Sling object you can easily do that things. Okay, and here we have another concept, that is via. See, here I have used this Sling HTTP servlet request, and some of the annotations are here that are belongs to a resource. Now if I here you come, now here you see, so this script variable is belong to a Sling HTTP servlet request. That is nice. Okay, this will work. Why? Because of here I have used the Sling HTTP servlet request, and this is the script variable. Okay, this here we have a Sling object as well. So this Sling object is related to a resource, and as well as for this Sling request as well, or the resource resolver. Okay, but what's about this? If I'm going this value map is related to a resource. Okay, this value map is related to a resource. Okay, and this child resources as well, it's related to a resource only. Okay, so in that time here we have a default annotation as well. This default annotation is also related to your resource only. So for that it's a mismatching, no? So for that we have to do one thing. You can just simply define the Sling HTTP servlet request dot class, and after that here you can just simply define the resource dot class. Okay, but what it will happen, all the code whatever, see, it's applicable to see, it's adapt to a lot of these things. When you are using the resource dot class, it will load lot of these things inside your this model, but we don't want to load it. So for that you can wherever you want it, you can just simply use it. So where you want, right now I just want inside this, so you can just simply use the @via. Okay, and here you can just define the resource. That means now if this default annotation it has related to your resource, that means this is applicable now. Okay, so you can just simply define inside this and just import it. Okay, I'm just defining here now. Okay, so this is the thing, like we have did it. Otherwise the best way, you can just simply use here a resource dot class. Is up to you which one you want to prepare it. Okay, and we know that which one we have to import it, that is org apache sling.api.resource.resource. Okay, we have done it, and here you can also use via, that is resource. So this is the optional thing. Okay, so here if you don't want it, then you can just write like this, like via everywhere. But if you haven't, if you have written here, then we don't need to write these things. Okay, because of we have uses everything, no? We have defined this link HTTP and the resource dot class, so we don't need to define now. Okay, so this is the thing. Yeah, and the last here we have a self annotations as well. So we have a self annotation, that means these are the adaptable things. We know that, come here inside this, here we have a adaptables thing at the left hand side. See, adaptable, we have a lot of adaptable, just like a project link, experience fragment, and here we have a page, and here we have a session, and Sling HTTP servlet request, and somewhere we have a resource and resource resolver. Okay, so if you want to inject these things, that means if you want to create this object inside this model, then we have to use one annotation, that is self. Okay, so for this resource, now I just want to create the object. otherwise for this resource resolver, otherwise this resource I just want to create the object. So how I can do that thing? So for that we have to use this self. You can just simply use the resource, and here I'm just creating a resource object. Simple. Yeah, so this is the thing. Otherwise instead of that you can just simply define the Sling HTTP servlet request, Sling HTTP servlet request, and here you can just simply create the object. So HTTP servlet request. Yeah, that's nice. You can just simply import it. That's done now. Okay, and at the last here we have one annotation, that is a resource path, and how we can use that resource path. So there we have a two ways. So inside the PPT we have everything via script variable, post construct, self, resource path. So here you see in every annotations we have a attributes. Okay, in every annotations we have a attribute, that is name, injection strategy, path, and the paths. So name is nothing but we have to define what you want to import it. Okay, name for this resource path. Injection strategy, that means we guys already knows that if you want to define as a optional, then you can just simply define inside these annotations. So when you are using @resource path, consider here we have a resource path. Now if you want to make it as an injection strategy as an optional, then you can just simply use injection strategy equals to injection strategy dot optional. After that you can just simply write one comma, and later that you can just simply define the path. Okay, in some cases, now here you come and here you see. Okay, so here we have one website. Now consider this one is our website, that is EN, and from this website now I just want the title of this website. So how we can get it? So for that we need this EN page. So this is the page we needed. Yeah, this page we needed. So how we can do that things? We can just simply copy. Okay, and we can just directly inject. See, by using this resource we can do that things. Okay, but what it will get, what it will give you, it will give you this hello world. But what we need directly, we need this page, and this page is also nothing but our resource. Okay, but how we can represent this resource? Like a path. By using this path we can represent it. Okay, so you can just simply come here and we can easily get this path. So how we can get? By using a @resource path. Here we have one concept, that is @resource path. Come up here, @resource path I have uses. You can come here, you can define as a array. Here we have options, like here you see you can also define the paths. You can just define more than one path. So you can, here you see etc and the social, and here we have a bin and something. Okay, and this all the things, these two paths we have defined inside this curly braces. And if you want to define one, then you can just simply use this path property and just define it. Just come here, path, and inside this double quotes whatever we have copied, you can just simply paste it. Now we got it. Okay, but whenever we are using this path, so it will return, okay, at the downside. So we have to define the variables here. So what is this? This one is nothing but our resource. So we have to create the resource object. So how we can create? That is resource, and you can just simply define the resource here. Okay, we have defined the resource here now. Okay, so inside this resource now we can just easily get the name of this resource. Okay, so come here and just define the public string. What I'm just defining, get name of page. I'm just simply defining get page. Okay, come here, and here we have a resource dot get name. You can just define it simply. Okay, so we have defined it, that is get name, and resource dot get name. Here we have to return it, no, then it will not throw the exception. Now yeah, now it's okay. Okay, this is the thing. And at the last, here we have one annotation, that is post construct. Okay, so we already know that here we only define the getter and setter methods, but except that if you want to write some logic, so how we can write inside our Sling model. And another thing is, here every time what we are doing here, we are only performing the operations on the variable. Okay, so once that variables are injected successfully, after that you want to perform something, then we have a post constructor option, annotation. So this post constructor annotation is useful for creating the methods, but when it will create after injecting all the variables. Okay, so all the variables is injected, later that we can later that this method will execute. So here you can just simply come, define the post construct. Okay, so here I have defined the post construct. You can just define whatever you want. So here I am just using like start, I have uses. Okay, so this is the thing. Now inside this we have to write one logic, but now I just want to check it, so it's working successfully or not. So for that I'm just performing a debugging. So how we can perform the debugging? By using the logger factory. So we have to define one variable, that is public, otherwise you can define private, static, final. Here we have a logger, and here I am creating one variable for this logger factory. Inside this logger factory, here we have one method, that is get logger, and we are just simply performing the logger for our class. So we have to use it. See, don't confuse it here. First of all, I'm just simply importing. We have to import this first one. Okay, here I have imported successfully. Now I'll show you some of the things. Like consider what it will do, this get logger. So this get logger will simply print whatever you are printing. Okay, but where it will print? So it will print inside this, in your AEM. So just come there, go there. Here inside the D drive I have a AEM. Go inside the AEM. Here we have author instance. Here we have a CRX quick start. Here we have a loggers. See, this log folders we have, and inside this logs here we have one parent folder, that is error.log. So whatever you are printing by using this get logger, come up, logger factory.get logger, and if you are mentioning something, single model example dot class. Okay, so all the stuff it will print inside this error.log, but we have to write it. Okay, so by using this log we can easily print anything. So this is the log. You can just come here, you can just log.info. So here in this case I'm just printing the information. Okay, post construct annotations is executing. Okay, save the changes. Yeah, that's done now. Okay, this is the annotation we have only, request attributes. Okay, so here at the last we just left it the request attribute, so we'll see that one as well. So now here we have defined the methods, but we know that where it will print. We want to print this all the data, but this data will print inside your components only. So we have to write the concept there, we have to write the everything there. Okay, inside our components. So here we have already write some of the things. Okay, but here we have created lot of models, so for that we have to write it. So like first of all we have created get text, get first name, get last name. So for the last name we haven't written it anything, so you can just simply copy this, copy, come here, and we can simply paste it inside this. So instead of this first name, just go there, where is our method? So this one is our method. You can just simply copy, go there, come here and just simply paste it. Remove this get, make this L small, and just change the name, that is last name. Okay, first thing is done now. Okay, now we just want another one. So how we can do that things, what we want to print it, just is get JCI created by. You can just simply copy this, come here, here s2 jcr created by dollar curly braces open and close. Here we have to use object and paste it whatever you have copied. Okay, so we have to remove this get and make this j small. Done now. Okay, remaining thing that is okay. Get current page, copy, come here. We have to remove this get and make this c small. Okay, done. Now we can come down, copy, get page, okay, now everything is done now. Okay, at the last, see, so here this one is our weaving concept. Okay, so we follows the MVC pattern, so this component is nothing but our view. So from the view, if you want to pass something to your model, like this one is our model, okay, so from the view, if you want to pass something to your model, for that we use the request attributes. Okay, so if you want to pass any attributes from here, so for that we use the request attributes. So how we can do that thing? So inside this we have uses the data slide use. We have to pass the something, so how we can pass it? So here we have uses this thing. Now we have to make this thing in the dollar curly braces, and we have to close this curly braces here. Okay, we have done these things now. Dollar curly braces, that is okay, but inside that we have to define the single quotes only. This one is our class, no, so we have to define as a single quotes. After that, what you want to pass, this @ is nothing but the optional. Okay, optional, if you want to pass some parameters, so for that we have to define this. Otherwise you can say it's for the separations. Okay, and inside this I am just passing Sling model. Now this is the annotation that I am passing is, and inside this I am just storing one value, that is here I am just storing simple value. Okay, so this is the value that I have stored. Where I have stored this value I have stored inside this Sling model. Inside this Sling model we have stored this value. Okay, so now we have created one our attributes, and this attribute now we want to pass inside this model. So how we can do that thing? So for that, here we have simply a request attribute. We just have to use it. So where we can use this request? Yeah, so I'm just using here. Okay, these are the attributes we have, and inside this we have to create the double quotes, and which one is our, that is Sling model. You can just copy this, come here and simply paste it. Okay, now we got it. Now here we have to store this value somewhere. So for that I am just using public string, and here I am using a Sling model. You can name it whatever you want, it's up to you, but we have given the name, that is Sling model. Come here, up, write public string get Sling model. Okay, return Sling model. Okay, now this thing is done, I think. Okay, and we have to call this Sling get Sling model. So come here and you can just simply call it h2 get Sling model, dollar curly braces open and close. If you want to separate by using a column, then you can just define the column there. Get Sling model, we have to remove the get and just make this as mod. Okay, so now all the things we have done it. Now we have see where we have created the where we have edited this component inside our crxd, inside our eclipse. So now we have to transfer, import, export from export from eclipse to a crxd. So how we can do that things? So we have to go inside the apps. Here we have apps, go inside this. Here we have apps demo 1, and here we have a lot of components. So for that we have to start the server first. So just come here and start your server. So once you have start the server, that time we have to export it. Okay, so we have started, I think it has starting. Okay, it has started. Now you can just simply export the changes from here to there, export to server. When you will do at first time, it will take some time. Yeah, so it has deployed successfully, sorry, it has exported successfully. Now you can just simply go there and just simply check it. So where is our hello world component? Yeah, this one, inside this. Yeah, so here whatever we have did, this all the thing is came here now. Okay, so go there and just try to deploy it now. Come here and just deploy it. It will take some time. Till now we have to wait.
Bro, sixth line and seventh line, you didn't close that H2 properly.
Online number here. Okay, again we have to first we have to close this, right click, export, finished. Yeah, finished. Now again you can deploy it. Till now we can go there and we just simply check it. We have to refresh it. Yeah, now it has came. Okay, so we wait for the deployment now.